And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Broken Swing Racing League's GT3 Championship, brought to you by ANSE3D as the sponsor. And we're here at round one for the Red Bull Ring. And thanks to Steve Racing. Steve. That's gotta be like Steve Racing. Thank you for the follow. Dang Woo for the follow, Atomic for the follow, as well as Speedy Twitch, Anderson by I'm not gonna get that one. Daft Punk Racing for the follow. Hey everybody. We are just jumping into qualifying right now. That was the end of practice for you. I'm just getting a little situated here as we have Make It Rain. Thank you for the follow, Raz Tasm for the follow. Raz Tasm? Oh, okay. A lot of people, thank you so much for watching us. So you can see the melee that is coming out as all these drivers are exiting the pits to start the qualifying. This is all, everybody, just a straight shootout to see who's the fastest, and everybody is out there on the track. It is going to be a traffic jam nightmare. I can't imagine what it's going to be like for some of these drivers who have decided to really bunch up and go out all at once. You see some people are trying to give some space, and you're going to need to give space. It's going to be interesting to see who is actually the first driver to actually go out and get that clean air. We'll try to jump on board with that driver. And that Trey Mistack, formerly of Team Shake Stack, Shack Stack. I'm not sure if he's still with that team, but he is the first driver to go out, and he's going to be able to get a very clean lap in. Unlike some of the other drivers, we can see down just back there, Mathis LePage is just 7/10 behind Joshua Abbott Salazar. So not going to be great if you're trying to maximize your potential here. Just a lot of... You're not going to want to, pass a guy. It's just not great. Too bunched up. Our grid at the moment is really fascinating. There's over 39 drivers that are participating in Red Bull Ring for the round one competition here at Broken Ring Racing League. And that's pretty cool. I think that's good numbers. A lot of new faces, new drivers. Mathis LePage, I'm definitely saying that last name wrong, but he's new. Joshua Abbott Salazar is not. Justin F. Scott, I believe he was here last season. Angel Hernandez, I think, might be new. And here's Trey Mistack, still golden. I believe that was completely within the lines there. And the first driver to put in a time, or at least we'll see whether or not he is the driver that puts in a time. Don't know about track limits just yet until we get across the line. Oh. I think it's a little bit more liberal out of that corner, though. So maybe this is going to be a perfect P1 at the moment with a 129.6 as we see other drivers starting to make that change happen here. And Mathis LePage is the second driver to take a spot there. Noah Hoskinson runs fastest right now in P1 with a 129.4. Trey Mistack drops down to P2. Peter Flanner, Jacob Simmons, new driver. Jacob Simmons goes P3. Nick Janney goes to P1. Brandon Renfro to P11. Already was P10, but Steve McAllister jumps into P9. Steve McAllister goes to P10. This is going to be quite the shakeup. Jared Bundy crosses line into P13. Justin Karp is P8. Dean Kerr goes to P7. This Peter Flanner is going to be one to look out for. Andrew H. Lewis does a 129.5. While he just did a 130 even, Peter Flanner had the fastest time in practice with a 128.9. Looks to be a really quick boy there, so definitely looks like he's already 1.6 seconds faster. Trey Mistak crosses the line again, goes to P2. We're going to... Oh, Angel Hernandez crosses the line, goes to P10. Justin F. Scott to P8. Peter Flanner is Mathis LePage to P9. Joshua Grosso crosses the line and goes to P4. And there goes Peter Flanner. Across the line, he goes to P1 with a 129.1. I told you, we're going to see some shocking results from that driver. Andrew Korostecki crosses the line with a P9. Timothy Bray to P9. Overtakes Andrew Secchi. Andrew Korostecki goes to P11 now. Elliott Burton to P6. Jacob Simmons to P5. Tyler Anderson jumps into P15. Andrew Kirk crosses the line to go P4. Wonder who else is out there that's going to shake up the order here. Jared Bundy to P23. Matt Shack goes across the line to go P6. Nick Janney has not improved this lap. Elliott Burton goes to P3. Chris Lambert to 13th. Trey Mistak is actually going faster. He's about 4/10 faster this round. Timothy Bray goes to P7. And the margins are very close, folks. We have everyone doing 129s or 130s. Trey Mistak crosses the line, and he goes to P2 with that, and that's a 129.2. Just ahead of Nick Janney by a couple thousandths of a second. And Joshua Abbott Salazar is 2 seconds faster this lap, which is really impressive. If he can hold this together, that's going to be very good for him. That's going to put him from P28 up into the top 10 for sure. I think he just needed a little bit of space, breather, as there has been a lot of traffic so far we've seen. He is still 1.5 seconds faster. I wonder what exactly happened in turn 1 that made him get that extra time. Or maybe he just had a great exiting final corner. And just had better momentum crossing the line. But as it stands, he is one of the only drivers on the grid right now. Actually, out of 3 drivers on the grid that is actually down on their delta. And if this is a legitimate lap for Joshua Abbott Salazar, it's going to be a banger of a lap. As he crosses the lines, does it shake up? No, it does not. It was not a fully legitimate lap. Say legitimate. He just... Ooh. And we have a minute and 50 seconds left. He might be able to pop in another lap there. But Trey Mistak is... Why might I say his legitimate lap is... Did they go outside the track limits? And it looks like he did, because he was fully faster on that lap based on the stats here. But same with Trey Mistak. Trey Mistak is 1.5 seconds faster right now. But is this a lap in which he has not exceeded track limits just yet? We won't know until the final line there. But he's out of Sector 2 and going into Sector 3. It's possible Joshua Grosso goes to P11. And we'll have to take a very detailed order of events here. Oh, he's slowing down. Maybe he did. Oh, giving himself a little bit of a spacer for the next driver. Well, let's see. Elliott Burton, P4. He's half a second faster, and he is right behind someone, and that does not matter anymore. That was Chad Nobles was on an outlap who was P7. I don't believe he's going to have enough time to... hopefully this was actually a push lap for him. Oh, Chad Nobles has really got the stretch to... We have 13 seconds. I don't believe he's going to make anything... Yeah, he's definitely not going to get a line to start a final lap. And Elliott Burton is 1.2 seconds faster right now. Oop. And he crosses the line, and from P4, he goes to P3. But Trey Mistak is on a flyer right now. How much of a flyer? He's... It says... Ooh. His wheels were on fire as he exited that corner and made a brisk slide. What can you say? There's 39 drivers on the grid. David Flanagan, I believe that was a driver that's actually really quick, but it looks like he did not set a time. That's going to be a really harsh race for him, as William C. Rasmussen is P18. Looking down at the order, we have Peter Flanner in P1, Joshua Grasso P2, Elliott Burton P3, Trey Mistak P4, Nick Janey in P5, Diego Erie in P6, Andrew Kirk in P7, Chad Nobles P8, Timothy Bray P9, Matt Shack P10, Jacob Simmons P11, Andrew Korsecki P12, Noah Hodgkinson in P13, Andrew Lewis in 14, Justin F. Scott in 15, Tyler Anderson in 16, Chris Lambeth in 17, Williams in P18, Anderson Baiano in P19, Eddie Layton in 20, Mick Wyckoff in 21, Mathis LePage in 22, Dean Kerr in 23, Angel Hernandez in 24, William Day in 25, Justin Karp in 26, Eric Rodriguez in 27, Brandon Renfro in 28, Tyler Finley in 29, Joshua Abbott Salazar in 30, Jared Bundy in 31, Archie Williams in 32, Zachary Bryant in 33, Steve McAllister in 34, Nicholas Matcham in 35. I just lost the grade order. Nicholas Matcham in 35, Ajay Candola in 36, Richard Saavedra in 37, David Flanagan 38, Ricky Burrows in 39. That was a massive undertaking there, and we are almost ready to go racing with 29 laps. 29.4 laps to go. And we are about go time. And just a few corners to the start straight finish where they are going to start. Safety car will go in, and Peter Flanner on the inside will have the benefit there of the inside line for the start of this race into turn one, as he's already making his stretch.
Green, green, green.
And it looks like Joshua Grosso losing out to one position, possibly, maybe not, as they're still side by side there. And so far, it looks like everything is not so bad. Can't tell if anyone's got some damage. Looks like a couple people are already out of the race, unfortunately. As Elliot Burton and Joshua Grosso are still battling it out side by side into turn turn 3. They go, and Joshua loses out that position. Oh, and Andrew H. Lewis, based on the events there, is crashed. Steve Gallister has crashed. Several drivers are losing out positions here. But all the way back to P10, these drivers have been still clean. And there's Noah Hoskinson having to battle with, I believe, that's car 6, Chad Nobles. And that purple Merc. And Noah gets by with P10, P9. And Nick Janey in that purple Mercedes. Oh, pinkish purple, yeah. Is just 0.2 off of Joshua Grosso there. Ooh. And it's not really gotten closer to Joshua Grosso, though, but Diego definitely has. He is right there on the bumper of Nick. Yeah, was at one occasion. Oh. Oh, and there's the driver off there in the back there as Eric Rodriguez. Just right on board with Ajay. Looked like he was going to be a little optimistic there on that. And that's going to be Jacob Simmons and him going. It's a decent pass there as he lets Andrew H. Lewis by as well. Ooh. What the heck? try to make sense of what just happened. Elliot Burton is P1, Josh Grosso is P2. Peter Flanner is down into P9. Oh, and it looked like Peter Flanner. Oh! Yikes. Had a little bit of a crash there. And Elliot Burton has this. With a 1.3 second gap to Joshua Grosso, it looks like he's going to be able to maintain that. He's still going to have to go in for a pit stop, but a lot of things have been happening here, folks. A lot of accidents. Just little spin outs, but that little spin out could cost you a lot. Peter Flanner's already up to P8. Often Noah Hodgkinson, but he's going to have to climb back up that ladder. And it's going to be a kind of a long shot, especially with some damage to the front end that he did take. There goes Chad Nobles, Tyler Anderson, Andrew Korstecki. Andrew Korstecki goes through to P10 over Chad Nobles there. Tyler Anderson going for the inside move. Ooh. Plenty of space is given, though. And that allows Tyler Anderson to go through. And Chad Nobles is going to slot back in ever so slightly. It's not great. Never mind. Anderson Bayano is only 2/10 down from Justin F. Scott, car number 69. You know someone was going to pick it, but it looks like this driver is going to try to make some moves here. Anderson, I'm not sure where he started. It was a long list of people to call off, but interesting to see if he makes that move. He did lose a couple of tenths through the final two corners there. Wonder if he will gain that back, or if anyone will make a move in these parts. We're at P18 is not even that far off of these drivers down in P15 of Eddie Layton. And there's where they get a little slippery. And that leaves the room for Angel to go down the inside line. Is he going to be able to make that move stick? It looks like he does. And is he fully committed and through? No, they are still side by side going into the next corner. And wow, they are very close, but still given enough room. But I don't think Angel is done just yet. They are going side by side into the next corner. Anderson wasn't done yet. Anderson retaking that position, and now look at that. Mathis, LePage is getting by, and they are now side by side. Is Mathis going to have this? And no, and look at that. Eddie Layton is about to overtake Mathis for this position. This is a heated battle here in the teens here. That's, very close margins, but Eddie Layton overtakes Mathis for P18 or P17. And that battle that looked to be right for Mathis, no longer. It really must be a little frustrating to be in that kind of battle, knowing you were the one that was going to go for the move, and then the move gets pulled on you, and Angel Hernandez having to restart that whole attack, as these drivers have never been more close. And here's Timothy Bray on Andrew Kirk. He is just a few tenths down off of Andrew Kirk, and he has the pace. Doesn't show his last lap, but his best was 129. Andrew Kirk just in front of him did a 130 of last. And you have Peter Flanner, who's still the driver who was P1, dropped down quite considerably. And it's trying to reel in some of these positions back. Back on board with Eddie Layton, who's just sitting in this little train of cars, all similar pace. So the battles are really, really close. Haven't seen Mathis Page try to reel in Eddie Layton even further than he has. Not sure when he's going to try to make that move again, but he's just looking rapid exiting turn 2. And Matt Shack, the winner at for the last season, is in P22. Not sure what form he's in. Maybe it's a new car. I don't know if he was in the Audi last season, but look at that. He's just all over the back of William Day in P21 there, that red car. And I'm sure he's just trying to find a way that he can make a move. And there he acts like he's going for it, but slots back in. Maybe it'll happen in turn 1, but ooh, awfully close. And does he have damage? Not entirely sure why he's still here. The last lap for Matt Shack was 130.7. William Day 130.8. It's to be expected, though. He wasn't a draft. And is he finally going to go for it? I don't think so. Yeah, I think he's just going to hang in there. Could this be the moment Timothy Bray was looking for, getting a good exit on the final corner, getting good draft, but stays directly behind, hasn't really tried to make a move here. He is really, really close. And look at that. Peter Flanner has been slowly reeling in Timothy Bray. This battle is going to slow him up for Noah Hoskinson to join up and just put them that much further away from Trey Mistack. Trey Mistack in P5. Drivers that are just battling up ahead. And Joshua Grasso and Diego are battling, and Joshua Grasso loses out that position to Diego. Eerie. I don't think that's right. But car number 770. That's also not great. That one in Bray is still 2 tenths down off of Andrew Kirk. Is he going to make the move? A lot of laps so far. We have 10 laps in, almost at the half point. We're going to see some of these drivers pull the trigger on trying to go for that undercut. Wonder if any one of these drivers in the top 10, which one is going to make that move first. Whoa! And Anderson just loses out of the final corner. Angel Hernandez goes through, and that gets P15 for him. I wonder if he's going to be able to... No, he's still holding his brakes, which is good manners. It's just good racing etiquette to wait. But that is definitely no bueno. Elliot A. Burton still leading this race off of Diego. And Joshua Grasso sitting in P3. Nick Janey in P4. Trey Mistak in P5. Andrew Kirk sitting right behind there in P6 with Timothy Bray in P7 and Peter Flanner. And honestly, I thought maybe there is a little bit of damage that is causing Peter Flanner to not make any moves. Something has to be slightly significant because he started on pole. He's a fast driver. Was really putting in some consistent laps during practice. And he's doing a last of a 129.6. It's just 3/10 faster than the drivers ahead of him. So that's not a huge margin. Elliot Burton did a 129.5 last lap. So he's off the pace of P1 right now. And oh, look at that. There goes Timothy Bray, but he slots back in. Now he's super defensive. Any mistake that can happen. And just drops back one position. Peter Flanner goes through. And with that, is he going to be able to start making up some inroads? Having been behind Timothy Bray for so long. Oh. Joshua Grasso goes down to P4. Nick Janey goes through. Must have been let's see. Oh. Technical difficulties. Sorry about that, folks. And with that is Peter Flanner now has a full second gap to Timothy Bray behind in P8. Powers down. Is he going to try to make a move here on Andrew Kirk? They were 2/10 separated, now 6/10. 7/10 actually. That's a lot. Oh. Matt Shack tumbling down the order. He must... Oh, that's why. Matt Shack is in P28, and he is the first driver to go on that new tire. What's going on here? Something keeps happening with camera angles there. Sorry there, folks. Matt Shack, first driver to the 13-lap stint, and now is P28. Dropped down significantly, but all these drivers ahead of him are going to have to make the move as well. So where he's going to shake up in that order, it's going to be very interesting to see. Undercut can play a significant margin. As we see, Matt Shack has nobody around him. He's got a 5-second gap to Steve McAllister in front and a 6-second gap to the guy behind him. This is just clean air for him to run laps. Be interesting for sure what happens there. Chad Nobles in P11 with Chris Lambert behind by 4.5 seconds. And Joshua Grosso, Diego, and Nick Cheney all battling it out for position. And in the background, you can see his teammate of Noah Hoskinson just at the tail end, and P9 to the P6, P7, and P8 train that is formed as well. Just a lot of consistent drivers that are hitting the same marks, similar pace, similar times. But no one's making any massive inroads throughout the field. And Matt Shack already, like, he made up a position or two, but he did not. Here's Peter Flanner. He is 1/10 off. It looks like he's going to have to be defending against Timothy Bray. And Timothy Bray on the outside. They still both have room. He goes way off, hitting the curbing there. Is he going to give it back? Yes, he is. It opens the door for Noah Hoskinson to go through, and he does! Wow! Late on the brakes, Noah goes through, pushes through on Timothy Bray for P8. And Peter Flanders still gets a keep P7, but where that was happening, I'm not quite sure how he dropped back from Andrew Kirk so much, but there it is. Jacob Simmons, one of the other drivers that has gone out, is up to P28. Matt Shack just in front of him. Whoa. Okay. Alright. Something's odd when you click on a driver. William Day in P19. It's battling Archie Williams, and Archie Williams goes through. And there's Mathis LePage in P16, just behind Eddie Layton. Looks like this scrap has not changed much. We have Angel Hernandez on the back of Justin F. Scott. And these drivers all with similar pace. It looks like Mathis LePage is actually the quicker of these drivers with a 130.2. And all the drivers ahead of him are doing 130.5s. 0.6, so whoa, and that is a William Day off in the background. If you saw it, or you might have missed it, it definitely happened. He is in the gravel. Diego was P3. He's the first driver in the top 10 to make that jump. So the undercut is really what he was going for in terms of whether or not how that's going to work out for him. He's really just got to have a good in lap on his out lap. Really, that's all it's about. He's got two drivers behind him, Joshua Abbott Salazar and Zachary Bryant. They are not going to have much contention with him, as he looks like he has a full second gap to them. And so I think he'll be good there from having to worry about defending against anyone. And just ahead of him, Andrew H. Lewis in P20 is 2.5 seconds back in front. This will be the interesting piece. Looks like Diego's going to have nothing but clean air. And here's Justin Karp and Matthew White, and Archie Williams battling for P17. Justin Karp, or P18, sorry. It's Archie Williams in P19. Trying to make a move here. Oh, whoa. Yikes. It's a lot of drivers there just went off there, and that is not good news. It's all for position, so Diego picking up a lot of positions off of an incident in the final couple corners. That was your drivers that were in P15, 16, and P13, 14, 15, I believe. The one that made it out of that was Angel Hernandez. Justin F. Scott. Archie Williams goes through Justin Karp. And there is Diego flashing his lights. I wonder if he's saying, "Let me by" to AJ. Yeah, AJ's down a lap, and he did let him by. This bodes well for Diego, but we won't know how much it bodes well until Peter Flanders now up to P15. Andrew Kirk has gone into the pit lane. Noah Hodgkinson's up to P6. That's crazy. I wonder what he did. And now the firestorm is occurring. A lot of these drivers are going into the pit lane, and the shakeup is going to be insanity. We have Diego crossing the line in P16 as he's going to overtake Andrew Kirk with ease. He was ahead of him P3 to P6 or 7 there for Andrew Kirk. It might have been P7. So making up some good positions. Andrew Kirk was P8, actually P7, and on his outlap, Diego's down to P14 right now. Looks like it's 16, but he's definitely down. Who else is going to make the move? Is it going to be Elliot Burton? He has a driver ahead of him that's lap traffic. And this is where it really counts. He had a 3-second gap to Diego. And is he going to be able to maintain that? As we see a lot of the drivers all coming in to the pit lane. And Diego is in Sector 2. Going into Sector 3. Is this enough for him? I have all these laps built up in terms of pace, in terms of fuel. Got 10 laps to go. Is he going to push out ahead into P1? It's entirely possible, folks. It was a 3-second gap. The undercut is really there. I could not tell you where that driver's... Oh, Elliot Burton down into P3. Is he out ahead? Yes, he is. Diego's down to P7. Oh. And sometimes the undercut truly doesn't work. Diego losing out several positions off of the move. there there are there are two drivers that still have to go in to the pit lane, and that is Timothy Bray and Chad Nobles. But as it stands, he was the overcut was Joshua Grosso, Nick Janey, and Trey Mistak all got ahead of Diego. It's Diego really losing out on his move. Oh, Eddie Layton there in the background. And there it goes. Elliot Burton crossing some lap traffic as he is 6 seconds ahead of Joshua Grosso. Nick Janey just behind in P3. Trey Mistak in P4. Diego into P5. Ooh. And Timothy Bray and Peter Flanner are battling it out, and Timothy Bray gets ahead on an outlap as well. Wow. Two drivers that have been battling ever since Peter Flanner made that mistake and dropped him back. He has been nowhere close to getting... Oh, as there's Jared Bundy in the side of the track there. Not able to make many inroads. He's overtaken Timothy Bray on one occasion that we saw, and has now dropped back off that overcut that Timothy Bray did, and it worked out in his favor. Here's Trey Mistak, 3/10 back from Nick Janey for P5. As it stands on the grid right now, we have a little bit of a little spread out scenario happening. Some of these drivers have some good marginal gaps, and there's Joshua Grosso, P2, or was P2. He just got overtaken by Nick Janey for P2. I was thinking P3, but Trey... that was a quick one. You blink, you didn't see it. Nick Janey went through. Okay. There's only a few battles on track that are like this, where there are at least 3 cars, 4 cars that are together. This is for P2, 3, and 4, with Diego just behind. And then Timothy Bray just behind Noah Hodgkinson for 6, 7, and 8. With Peter Flanner in the background of the Merc. And Andrew Kirk just a little bit further back than that. And Mathis LePage's car has seen better days, as there's significant damage there. Not sure what shook up with that one. And William Day has the pace to get by Matheus LePage, the Ferrari on Ferrari. Matheus LePage's last lap was a 131, and Williams was a 130.2. The damage is significant, so it definitely plays a part in that, but he's still half a second off of his driver. And Joshua Grosso is in P4. It's like Trey Mistak was able to get by him. And there's Timothy Bray just behind Noah Hoskinson. They're separated by 1/10. Peter Flanner might be able to get into the scrap of this right here. If they start to battle, if Noah starts to have to be a little bit more defensive, we still got a decent chunk of laps to go. This is going to be one of those, can I defend for another 6 laps? Is it possible? The pressure is really on Timothy Bray. I don't believe we've seen him make a move on track as a driver, but no, I think we did one. He has made some moves that weren't aired. His biggest significant one was the overcut on Peter Flanner. Just before the braking zone, Peter Flanner was about half a second. Oh no! Oh no! And you don't have to make a move if the driver loses control that you're trying to pass. And it's unfortunate for Noah Hoskinson. We've seen that trap happen before, and it happened again. Matt Shack, look at him in form. Was P28 and is now down to P11, overtaking Chad Nobles. And the former champion is showing his true form, getting back out there. Does he have the fastest lap of the session? No. He showed T. Finley. Tyler Finley, yeah, sure. Tyler Finley is in P28, overtook Brandon Renfro, and Nicholas Matcham is just separated by 4/10 on him. It's a good chance that he can make a move here. The difference in cars right now, we have Tyler Finley in the Ferrari, Nicholas Matcham in an Audi just ahead, Brandon Renfro in that Porsche. Looks like Brandon Renfro did a 133 last lap. Tyler Finley did a 132.5. He's half a second faster than Nicholas Matcham just ahead of him. We'll see if he can't make some quick work of Nicholas Matcham. And if it's going to happen, it's going to happen now. He is separated by 1/10. Is he going to go down the inside line onto turn 1? Or is he going to wait to make his move into turn 2? Nope, he is slotted right next to him. Side by side they go. Nicholas Matcham gives him the space, and he goes through. Tyler Finley making the move. Stick. And fair play to Nicholas Matcham, giving him the space. But I think Nicholas Matcham is going to have to really defend here, as we can see Brandon Renfro is already looking to go for that move, but he doesn't, and there's an Eric Rodriguez off to the side there. And with that said, it looks like Brandon Renfro is made the move off of Nicholas Matcham. You lose one, you can lose two. Really difficult to keep composure after being passed like that. Another driver comes up to pick up the scraps. We have Andrew Lewis on Justin Karp, wondering if Andrew Lewis is going to make the move. They are both at similar pace, but different cars. And there he goes, down the inside line against Justin Karp. Andrew makes the move, but they are side by side still, and hitting that curbing is not going to help him, but it looks like Justin Karp isn't done just quite yet. Or is he? It looks like he is now. It looks like he truly is. Nick Janey in P2 with a 4.4 second gap to Eric. Oh. Joshua Grasso's dropped down one more position, and Diego goes to P4. And Andrew Kirk in P8 off of Peter Flanders, just ahead of him in P7. And Karp, let's see that. Justin Karp is... Let's take a look at where he's at. Justin Karp's still sitting there in P19 now, off of that Andrew Lewis. But still comfortably ahead of Joshua Abbott Salazar, so P19 is realistic for him. Back on Diego, who was... Yeah, it is P4. Timing sheet's a little wonky right now. There's a lot of drivers on the grid, so it's making some odd decision-making on whether or not they've made positional changes. Noah Hodgkinson and Andrew Korostecki for P9. Side by side, they go into Sector 2, or into Sector 3. And Andrew Korostecki keeps it ahead. And it looks like Noah doesn't make the move. Gave it a little sniff, though. Popping in, maybe I'll go for this, maybe I won't. Maybe he's thinking Andrew Korostecki is driving in his mirrors and is going to react. And Andrew Korostecki does not go for the defensive line into turn 1. And a little bit of a wobble there, you know. That might be all that Noah needs. And this is now is very defensive. So Noah's going to have to go the long way around. Is he going to be able to maintain it? They go side by side. And, oh, it's perfect. He gets a great exit there from Noah, or from Andrew Korostecki. They're still side by side as it looks out. No, he's not side by side anymore. And just there in the background, you can see, oh, they are still side by side. The camera plays tricks, and there he goes. Finally gets that car right in front. And P9 for Noah Hodgkinson at the moment in time. He's going to have to be able to keep this. We have no laps remaining here. If we go on to the roll bar here, we're going to see if Elliot Burton is getting that white flag. And he is. This is for the last lap. Trey Mistak is in P3. Nick Janey in P2. Diego in P4. Joshua Grasso P5. Peter Flanner is still just a little bit behind Timothy Bray in front of him. About 6/10 of a gap, though. Andrew Korostecki is one of in the top 10 out of these drivers. He is the closest driver to a rival. We have Angel Hernandez and Jacob Simmons. Looks like they're getting really close together, too. Not too close. While Andrew has a good run, oh, Richard Saavedra is just ahead. He's P29. He's trying to let those drivers go by. They are battling out. And there he goes. Elliot Burton able to capitalize off of Peter Flanders' mistake. And he's going to be taking P1 in round 1 at the Red Bull Ring. Dick Janey in P2, Trey Mistak in P3, Diego P4, Joshua Grosso P5, Timothy Bray makes it out ahead of Peter Flanner. They've been battling all this entire time. Andrew Kirk, P7 for Flanner. Andrew Kirk is P8. Noah Hodgkinson able to maintain that gap ahead of Andrew Gorsecki for that pass. P10 for Andrew Gorsecki. Matt Shack brings it across the line in P11. Chad Nobles P12. Angel Hernandez almost to the line. Jacob Simmons does not get him. That's P13. 14 for Jacob Simmons. Chris Lambeth in P15. Justin F. Scott in 16. Archie Williams in P17. Justin Karp. No one to fault him here. He's going to be able to take P18, no problem. Joshua Abbott Salazar in P19. Zachary Bryan in P20. Andrew H. Lewis in P21. Mathis LePage in P22. With Matthew Wyckoff behind in P23. William Day in P24. Tyler Anderson is going to be crossing the line in P25. Steve McAllister in P26. Tyler Finley is going to take P27. And Brandon Renfro in P28. Richard Sedra in P29. Nicholas Matchman P30. Eddie Layton in 31. Ajay Candola in P32. Jared Bundy in P33. Anderson Bayano in P34, Eric Rodriguez P35, Dean Kerr, and with only 11 laps, must have had an incident. P36 for Dean Kerr, William Rasmussen in P37, David Flanagan, and Ricky Burrows did not set any, didn't actually run. So those are the results. We have Elliot Burton from P3 down to P1, Nick Janey from P5 to 2. Ray Misek made 1 position change. Diego made 2. Joshua Grosso dropped a couple positions. Timothy Bray went from P9 to P6. Peter Flanner with the opposite track there from P1 to 7. Andrew Kirk only losing 1 position out. And the big shakeup, not much. P24 to P13 for Angel Hernandez. That is a very significant shakeup. Zachary Bryant from 33 to 20. And Joshua Abbott Salazar from 30 to 19. Justin Karp with that 26 to 18. And Archie Williams with a 32 to 17. That is a massive. Chris Lambeth made 2 positions off that. Jacob Simmons only down a couple. And that is round 1 for the GT3 championship. Hopefully you join us next Sunday, and we do have multi-class LMDHs and LMP3s on Tuesdays. It's a multi-class event that you're welcome to join. Just click on the Discord, and thank you for joining us.